Hello, greetings to you all. Today I want you to be together so as to discuss how can we use a basic formula in Microsoft Excel. So there is a basic formulas as we see from this PowerPoint. Sum, we say sum or total formula, we say equal sign sum of. This is just the example of a cell. You want to sum maybe E2, E3 up to E14. So this is just an example of a cell you wanted to find a sum. Also we have a minimum or subtraction. For example, we want to subtract in Excel. How can you do? So you take maybe cell 1 minus cell B. Also we have multiple. How can you apply a multiple formula? So we are using a formula with a star. So star, it means multiply. So also in division we use a back we use how can I say this kind of a symbol, maybe say backslash, I think. Also, how can we find the average? Average is average of which cell? So you say maybe average of A2 up to A16. So this is a range of a cell. If you type colon, it means you say up to A2 up to A16. Also maximum we find here by using this formula. We indicate mean from which cell to which cell. Minimum, no, in maximum we wrote the formula is max. Formula is the max in maximum. In minimum, the formula is mean. First of all, you needed to know any formula you must start with equal sign. So equal sign mean cell which to which cell. Count, also we say count maybe from A2 up to H15. Also, how can we find the remarks? It indicates pass or fail. You can use this kind of formula. So to indicate a pass or failed, you need to have conditions. For example, maybe a pass max average is 40. If below that, we say this is maybe fail. So this is the formula that can be used. Also, we need to indicate maybe to display a pass. We need maybe to display a grade marks. For example, A, B, C, D, or F. So which formula can it be used? We use depending on the kind of condition or criteria we're given so as to create our formula. So this is a condition that we are given. So how can we find a formula? Is this one. So this H2, this H, it means an average cell, So for example, if average cell, example is the H, is greater than or equal to 81, it must display it will display A. If H, that we say average cell, is 61, is greater than or equal to 61, it must display B. If average cell that we say maybe H is greater than or equal to 41, it must display C. So this is a formula that can be used, and after finish, you must count an open bracket. For example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the end, you close by 4 brackets. So this is how can we use a basic formula. Let us go to Excel itself to see how can we find. As you see, the formula you can type or you can you can go to a menu. As you see, for example, we wanted to find the average, so we click the cell we want to put our answer. So then we go to a formula, then auto sum, click auto sum, then click average. So you find the average from here to here. So Jose to Kevin. If it is okay, you will click, you will press enter or this tick sign that indicate enter. So if you click enter, it means it will give you your answer. In other cell, it means we will use autofill handle. Make sure that you have this kind of cursor, a four black arrow. So this arrow is used to autofill answer. It means it will copy a formula based on the first answer. So if we drag, it means we will find the average to other cell. Okay, how can we find a sum? Sum also, we locate a cursor to the cell that we want our answer to be, then go to formula, then auto sum, then click sum. Sum from here, average, it cannot be taken as sum, so it will sum from Jose to Kev. So you drag from Jose to Kev, then press enter. To find other answer, so you just use this kind of so if we locate cursor near to this dot, it means this dot, it means you will get a cursor that will be used to fill other cell. So if you drag, it means it will copy a formula based on the first answer. How can we find a grade, remarks, maximum, and minimum? Let me to find this first. We needed to know which subjects was having a maximum, or which students was score a high marks. So if we check Jose Yahya and Kevin, who was having a maximum marks, so we'll find it like this. So the student that was having a high marks, it was Yahya, that was having a 98 marks, as you see. So to locate other answer, we just drag by using this arrow, as you see. Also, how can we find a minimum? I think a minimum of Jose, Yahya, and Kevin, who was having a minimum score. So we locate a cursor to the area where we want our answer to be. Then we go to formula, auto sum, then mini. Minimum from where? From Jose to Kevin. Then press enter. So the one who was scoring 21 marks, it was Kevin. So Kevin was having a low marks. So to find a low marks to other subjects, so we just drag by using this kind of cursor. Okay, so this is how we can create a maximum, minimum. So how about grade? Grade, it means we want maybe to display a student maybe was having an average maybe of A, B, C, D. So in grade, we just using an average cell. We are using an average cell. So as you see, our reference cell is G4. Our reference cell is G4. So cell number 1 in average is G4. So it means when we came in here to indicate a reference cell, so here we can convert maybe to G4 if G4 is greater than or equal to 81, and here we say G4, and here we say G4, and here we say G4. So this is our average cell. It means we are referred to average cell so as to display maybe A, B, C, D up to F. Then we can copy this formula to apply in our Excel. So we wanted to display a grade, so I will paste here. As you see, maybe let me to type. So if we must start with equal sign, if G4 is greater than or equal to 81, must display we use a quotation A, if G4 is greater than or equal to 61, must display B, if bracket G4 is greater than or equal to 61, 41, okay, 31, 41, must display C, if G4 is greater than or equal to 31, must display D, otherwise failed, to display your F. So the last remarks are always we don't write an if function because it is the last one. Then we close by one bracket, more two bracket, 3 bracket, 4 bracket. So we close by 4 bracket, then enter. So we have, as you see, B. We have get B as our max. So how can we find the answer? So we're just using this cursor that we call it autofill answer to fill answer to other cell. As you see, so they fill answer by using the by referring to the formula of the first answer. Okay, so this is how we calculate a grade. So in Remax we just modify formula from grade, but instead of type maybe A or B or C, we just type pass or failed. So in Remax we can say, so also we are referring to the average cell. So we can say equal sign if average cell that we say G4 is greater than or equal to 40, as our condition of pass max was 41 or 40. Our condition was 40. So if G4 average max is greater than or equal to 40, here it must display, must put a quotation. No. Must display a pass. Otherwise, give quotation, it will display a failed. Okay, then press enter. As you see, in average this is more than 40. So if we want to find the answer from other, we are using this autofill handle to fill answer from another cell. So the failed student is this one. So this student has an average marks of below 40, that we say this is failed. Okay, so this is how can we find this kind of average, sum, grade, Remax, maximum and minimum. So for example, I want to find average for all subjects of JOSE of one student. So we are using the same formula. So you locate cursor to the area where you want your answer to be, then go to formula, then you auto sum, then you go to average, then click enter. So to find the average of others, you can use this kind of we say autofill handle. So it will find the other part. Okay, it will find the other part because we have find formula here. So we are just using this autofill answer to find the other parts. Also to find the sum of JOSE, or to find the sum of all subject of JOSE. So we locate cursor, then we go to formula, auto sum, then sum. Sum from where? From math, then drag it to chemistry, then press enter. To find total to other students, you just drag by using this kind of arrow or cursor. Did you see? Very simple. Also, how can we find maybe a maximum? subject to Jose and other students. So Jose maybe was the score which is subject in maximum max. So you just select locate your cursor, then go to formula, auto sum, then you want to find a maximum, so click max. Maximum from where? From math to chemistry. Then enter or use this kind of tick. So the maximum max of Jose was 100, as you see is this one. How to find the minimum for Jose? Also you can find the maximum to other students by just dragging, as you see. Yahya, the maximum max was 98. Kevin was 99. 99 is this one. How to find the minimum? You locate the cursor to a minimum position cell, then you go to formula, auto sum, then minimum. Minimum from where to where? We cannot include this kind of cell, so we find a minimum from math to chemistry, then click enter. So the minimum number for score max was 93. To find minimum of other students, you just drag, as you see. Yeah, it was having it was score 11. Also the lowest number was 21. So this is how can you calculate this kind of formula. So how can you subtract? Just you just start with equal sign. For example, you want to know a gap max for maximum and the minimum. Okay, so for example, you wanted to find the maximum and the minimum gap for Jose, for example. So you type, you will start with an equal sign. So from you wanted to find a gap from which cell? To me it is this cell that indicates what? This cell, that is D15. We minus by what? D16. So by subtracting or find a minus, we just subtract a cell, then press enter. So the difference maximum and minimum for Jose was this one. So this I was just discuss about the how can you subtract a number in Excel. So you just take a cell 1 minus cell 2. How about average? Average also, sometimes we take total number. We take a total number, you take your total number, divide by number. So we take your total or sum divided by number. So our total number, we say this is a sum. For example, I wanted to find an average. Maybe we can use this sum so as to check if the answer will be this one. For example, we wanted to find for example, I wanted to find an average of this one. Assume we don't have an average. This is another alternative average formula. So we put equal sign, is equal to, so we take a sum divided by number. So we have our sum is this one, but the number we have three students, so 1 2 3, so we divide by 3, so we get the same answer, 72. We get the same answer, 72. So the concept of this one, it was to show you how can you use division. So in division we use this kind of backslash. So you must start with equal sign. Any formula must start with equal sign. You want to find an average, so you take a sum over number. Sum is located in H4, divide by number. We have 3 students, so if we divide by 3 students, so we get 72. So this is how can we use these basic formulas in Microsoft Excel sheet. So I think you have gained some knowledge on how can you use this kind of basic